This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The sky ain't falling, let's get out of this town. Our time is vital and we're making it count. Doing what we can to show them who we are now. Okay, yeah. Let's show them what we're made of. Let's show them who we are. Okay, yeah. Don't aim for the clouds, we gotta shoot for the stars. We got tonight, yeah, we got tonight. We got it going on and we're feeling alright. This is our time, okay, now is our time. We're doing what we want and we're feeling alright. Yeah. Oh, we got it going on and we're feeling alright. Yeah. Oh, we're doing what we want and we're feeling alright.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you know this. Yep. We are here on a lovely Thursday, and there is no doubt about that. Look at that, 4 days in a row. What the hell's going on here? No, I'm kidding as I say that. Anyways, how are you? We are coming to you from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida. Just in case you did not know, today's Thursday, May the 25th of 2023. Day 145 of the year and only 220 days left to go. So as we are broadcasting from here in this great state of Florida, inside of Orlando, why don't we tell you where we're hanging out?
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at RadioBig.fm.
So as we hang out on Radio Big, we are also hanging out on Safety FM because, you know, that's what we do, the multiverse over there, on all the things that we do. So, yes, we are hanging out now on different platforms on the social media aspect. This week we added Rumble into the mix. So there you go, little different stuff on where we actually do things. But as I do mention this, we are live on the radio. We still do have a podcasting network on where we come across. And some of our shows on the podcasting network are on video as well. But you have to go to that platform to be able to find it. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on in this lovely morning. So let's talk real quick about what the hell was trending in the overnight.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Sand in Dubai is expensive, and convicted murderer Alex Murdaugh is facing new indictments. We'll talk about that as we get into the shit list. Shakira is trying to dodge Tom Cruise advances, and Shaq gets served again. And as you might have heard yesterday, big news coming off of the Twitterverse, but there was some glitching. We'll talk about that as we get into the mix of things, of course. He is facing yet another lawsuit. We'll talk about some of that information. And then we'll dive in to the world of music and entertainment in hour 2 and 3. But during hour numero uno of the Rated R Safety Show, because remember, this is the Jay Allen in the Morning Show. So, we'll talk about the things that are going on inside of the world of the industry and some news yesterday, which was kind of interesting. And we'll talk about that as we get into the mixy-ixy of information. Anyway, so did you get to hang out yesterday and take a listen to our newest podcast that dropped yesterday? Yeah, It was out and about and ready for you to take a listen to, if you were so inclined to do so. Yes, a hot podcast with no name made the sequence of events yesterday as we were making the rounds. So just so you know, dropped the 5 new episodes yesterday as they were making the format of getting it out there and all that kind of stuff. So if you did get to take a listen, congrats. If you didn't, you can go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says shows and take a listen to the newest with Andrea and Matt on what is going on right there. So anyways, with that being said, we do have some professional broadcasters that are sitting in the wings waiting to tell you what the hell is going on inside of this little world. So don't worry about that. We'll talk about that. And then also on the other side of the equation, because there is an equation here, as we do talk, there is some things that we need to tell you. If you want to take a view of what the hell we have going on, you can go to the different platforms that are available. You can go to radiobig.fm. You can go to safetyfm.com to take a visual look on what's going on. If you want to interact with the show, it's easy, simple to do so. Call in radio. We'll see all your messages as they come through. Some people get pissed because I don't read them on the air. Well, that's okay. I take a look and see if we're going the direction you want to go into. And if it's not, well, we'll still continue to go that direction. Oh, hold on. Did I say that? Yeah. That's exactly what I said. So there you go. Some info on some things that are going on inside of there. So with that being said, why don't we just get you started with the news, and then we'll come back, talk a little bit on what the hell is going on. Let's throw it over there to good old Mr. Mark Mayfield and see what the hell is going on. No, seriously. We'll see what the hell is going on. Mark, are you there?
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Mark Mayfield. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has announced his 2024 presidential run.
If you nominate me, you can set your clock to January 20th, 2025 at high noon, because on the west side of the U.S. Capitol, I will be taking the oath of office as the 47th President of the United States.
The Republican made the initial announcement on Twitter Wednesday, saying he's ready to lead our great American comeback. DeSantis trails former President Trump by a wide margin in every poll. He served in the Navy and was first elected to Congress in 2012 before becoming governor in 2018. During the live stream, DeSantis claimed the U.S. is going in the wrong direction, specifically pointing to issues at the border and spiking crime. He also ripped President Biden, saying he lacks vigor and flounders in the face of our nation's challenges. Progress is being made in negotiations between the White House and Republicans on a bill to raise the debt ceiling. That's what Speaker Kevin McCarthy told reporters on Capitol Hill Wednesday afternoon. He said he believes an agreement will be made ahead of an early June deadline and that the U.S. will avoid default. He's been firm in telling Democrats there will be no tax increases and the government will have to spend less than what it did this year. Republican negotiators met with President Biden's team Wednesday at the White House. Actress Angela Bassett is paying tribute to the late Tina Turner. More from Trey Thomas.
You're simply the best. Bassett, who portrayed Turner in the 1993 movie What's Love Got to Do with It, praised Turner's courage, willpower, and commitment. In a statement, she said Tina Turner showed others who lived in fear what a beautiful future filled with love, compassion, and freedom should look like. The music icon died at the age of 83 after a long illness. I'm Trey Thomas.
And the site of a mall shooting in Texas earlier this month will reopen next week. Allen Premium Outlets has announced it will begin serving customers again on May 31st. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Ron DeSantis' White House run is off to a shaky start as technical glitches marred his announcement. 19 opposition parties say they'll boycott the inauguration of India's new parliament this weekend. Energy bills for British households are set to fall as much as 20%, and a South Korean delegation is concluding inspections of a Japanese facility designed to treat radioactive water from the Fukushima power plant and discharge it to the ocean.
Listen to our host
Of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety
The
FM.
top Democrat in the House is accusing Republicans of hostage-taking in negotiations over raising the debt ceiling.
House Republicans are determined to crash the economy because they believe it will benefit them politically.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said Republicans are determined to either impose deep spending cuts that will hurt everyday Americans or crash the economy with a default. His comments came as the White House and Speaker Kevin McCarthy continue to try and reach an agreement to raise the borrowing limit ahead of a June 1st deadline. McCarthy claimed on Wednesday that he believes the U.S. will avoid a default. Thanks to a judge's ruling, the parents of murder victim Gabby Petito will get to see a letter from Roberta Laundrie to her late son Brian, Petito's fiancé and suspected killer. The so-called burn after reading letter supposedly offers to help get him out of prison, which Petito's parents' lawyer argues proves they knew she was dead before her body was found. Judge Danielle Brewer denied a motion to turn over the Laundrie's bank records and delayed a ruling on their motion to dismiss the case. Gabby Petito's parents are suing the Laundries, claiming they knew she was dead and created distress by not sharing that information. Former South Carolina attorney Alex Murdaugh has been indicted on federal fraud charges. Michael Kastner has the story.
Murdaugh is charged with bank fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering, among other charges. He's currently in prison after being convicted for the murders of his wife and youngest son. The federal indictment alleges Murdaugh created 3 different schemes to obtain money and property from his clients. If convicted on all counts, Murdaugh could face up to 480 years in prison and fines to almost $13 million, on top of what he's already convicted of in the murders. I'm Michael Kastner.
And Target says it's removing some of its Pride collection items out of concern for employee safety. The retail giant says since this year's Pride Month collection was introduced, there have been threats impacting team members' sense of safety and well-being while at work. Earlier this week, Target locations in the South were reportedly told to remove Pride merchandise from the front of stores. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Okay, men. This is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're going to go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you going to do? You're going to go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You got to dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. No, you won't. Because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Radio. Have you ever wanted to start live streaming and were not sure how to do it? You can start live streaming up to 40 social media platforms all at one time for as little as nada. It's going to cost you your time. That is what it's going to cost. You can pre-record, you can live stream, you can do a multitude of things. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com/one. That's safetyfm.com, ONE.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Okay, there you go. Currently 16 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this Fantastico Thursday. There is no doubt about that, as we are hanging and banging and doing all the cool stuff that we get to do. So don't worry about that. So let's get into the shit list right away and start talking about what the hell is going on across the multi. So let's talk about it. An empty plot of sand in Dubai recently sold for, you ready for this? $34 million. The underdeveloped 24,500 square foot plot of sand was sold by British Enterprise, or should I say enterprise and entrepreneur, maybe I should use it that way, Umar Kamani, who purchased the lot of sand for $10 million in 2021. The buyer identity is unknown. As you know, why the staggering price? Well, the sand is located in the Jumeirah Bay Island, which is the most exclusive of exclusive locations, according to Dubai real estate agent Andrew Cummings. Jumeirah Bay Island is 6.3 million square feet of artificial island that is shaped like a seahorse. And it features a 5-star hotel, which was crowned the best new luxury hotel in the world. And when it opened in 2017, there are about 128 plots of island there, which is also connected to the mainland via a 1,000-foot bridge. 2 plots were sold together for just $49 million back in 2022. So there you go. There you go. Some stuff to think about. This is all coming via CNN, just in case, if you were wondering. Also, malls ain't dead yet. Take a listen to this. 2 clothing retailers published surprising financial results as the first quarter of the year. Abercrombie & Fitch increased net profitability by $30 million year over year, while Kohl's showed no change in revenue year over year, beating analysts' expectation that the company would post a loss. Both stores have online operations, but also an in-person staple at malls around the country and have grown increasingly empty and quiet. This is via CNBC. So let me ask that question. How often do you go to a mall? Like, seriously. Like, when was the last time you recall going to the mall with the whole purpose of buying something? Like, I am going to the mall because this is what I'm trying to accomplish. Like, I will tell you, I will try to avoid going anywhere besides this place, if I can. There's very few places that I go to, because I just don't want to go and have to wait in line to buy stuff and all that kind of stuff. Like, the mall that's the closest one to where I'm located, there has been times that I've been there in the past that it might take 10, 15 minutes before you find a parking spot. And I'm not talking like parking spot where you're legitimately sitting almost on top of the mall. I'm talking about having to drive around just to find a spot. So that's something to think about. Anyway, so let's talk about some other things. Weeks after jury convicted Alex Murdaugh of murder, and the Federal Department of Justice has filed a 22-page indictment against him for a variety of financial crimes. The indictment maps out as a personal injury attorney, Murdaugh, had settlement funds sent to his personal accounts and never paid them out to the clients. It is also seeks to connect the murder of Murdaugh's housekeeper to the property insurance claim. This is according to the DOJ. Yes, DOJ. So there you go. What do you think? Some stuff to think about, huh? So as I said earlier, as we were talking, and you heard our friends at NBC talk about it a little bit, Ron DeSantis yesterday was all over the place in regards of making some of the news stories. So let's talk about this. After years of speculation, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis filed the paperwork to run for president on Wednesday, just hours before making an official announcement during the live stream Spaces chat on Twitter with Elon Musk. The announcement event itself was plagued with technical glitches as the audio cut in and out. And let's see. Let's talk about how there was 728,000 people that tuned in all at once. More than watch CNN on primetime. And at one point, it sounded like Musk himself was troubleshooting the problem, muttering the servers were under strain and a massive number of people tuning in before the elevator music started playing. Good problem to have? I don't know. On the other hand, it's embarrassing for both Twitter and the governor that it took nearly a half an hour to get the announcement up and running. And on the other side, the number of people tuning in to crash the app suggests vast interest in DeSantis' candidacy. But wait! DeSantis was quickly trolled by both former President Donald Trump and President Joe Biden on their respective social media accounts. So there you go. Some stuff to think about. But let's talk about this. If you had 728,000 people waiting to hear you announce that you're going to run for president when they already kind of know that that was the gig, that's pretty impressive. And listen, there is glitches inside of systems. And listen, we've talked about this several times. Technology is great until it fails you. But what is exactly DeSantis is going to do in regards of a platform that he does not control? I don't know. Listen, we have glitches all over the place, and I'm not defending DeSantis, and I'm not defending Musk, believe me. I'm just saying, what can you do? Everything's good until it doesn't work. I mean, think about it. Think about a time that you were trying to do something and some technology you had, it didn't work at all. It's kind of the way that it goes sometimes. So there you go. Anyway, take a listen to this. A baby bison had to be euthanized this week after being rejected by its herd. According to Yellowstone National Park officials, the calf was separated from his mother while trying to cross the Lamar River. And an unidentified man tried to help him by giving the animal a push to the roadway. From there, park officials tried to reunite the calf to its herd, but they were unsuccessful, leaving them only one option. This isn't the first time that park visitors have tried to help a wandering calf. In 2016, a man and his son picked up a calf and put it in their SUV with the intent of fighting the herd. The calf also had to be euthanized. Moral of the story, leave wild animals to the professionals, because I guess they could get them to their herd. I mean, what the hell does that mean? But you get the point there. So take a listen to this if you did not hear this yesterday, but Tina Turner has died. She passed away on Tuesday at her home in Switzerland following a battle with an undiagnosed illness, according to the statement from her manager. Turner, best known for the hit What's Love Got to Do with It, won 11 Grammys, sold more than 150 million records worldwide, and was voted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame alongside her husband Ike Turner back in 1991. And as a solo artist in 2021, she was 83 at the time of her passing. Listen, if you have not taken a listen to Tina Turner recently, I would strongly recommend that you do so. Because what love got to do with it? And if you never watched any of the Mad Max movies, you should probably go back for a moment and take a little gander at the one that she's in. Because you're probably going to have some questions in regard to what's going on there. Anyways, with that being said, let's bring some John Smalls into our life real quick. and let him tell us about what the hell is going on with the market beat.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Thursday, May 25th, brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Equity markets retreat Wednesday as market participants gauge the impact of high interest rates, high inflation, and the growing chance the U.S. will enter another government shutdown. Debt ceiling negotiations are at the forefront of everyone's mind and are helping drive the markets, but it's not what will bring the S&P 500 down. A growing number of companies are indicating second quarter or second half weakness that is taking a toll on the earnings outlook. If there's anything that will move the S&P 500, it is the outlook for earnings. The next 2 days will be a test for the market. The S&P 500 continues to show resistance at the 4150 level, and the PCE price index is due out Friday. The index is not expected to give the Fed much reason to pause and may keep equities from moving higher. With the summer fast approaching, the odds of a summer rally are diminishing. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at MarketBeatMinute.com.
Okay, thank you, John Smalls, for the information, for the information of what the hell's going on inside of the market. Let's talk a little bit of what I was able to locate, and it looks something like this. Let's talk about it. The Dow lost about 255 points to close at 32,799 on Wednesday. The S&P lost about 30 points to close at 4,155, and the NASDAQ lost about 76 points to close at 12,484. West Texas Intermediate closed at $74 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $78 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.56 on Wednesday. Bitcoin tumbled at about 3.2% and was at 26,350. There was more than 4,000 flights delayed into and out of the United States on Wednesday and about 66 cancellations. Friday night's Mega Million drawing will be for a $169 million jackpot or an $86.4 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you still have time to do so. So there you go. Take a listen to this real quick. The TSA has a reminder for travelers who plan to hop on a plane. This is for Memorial Day. So take a listen to this.
Make sure to leave your guns at home. The advisory comes after 2 people were caught with firearms Sunday at TSA checkpoints at Reagan National. A Florida man was stopped with a loaded .38 caliber handgun, and an Arkansas woman was stopped with a .22 loaded with 5 bullets. 16 guns have been taken from passengers at Reagan National so far this year. I'm Sarah Bartlett.
Okay, thank you, Sarah, for the information. So yeah, if you're traveling and you're a gun owner, you might want to reconsider on what the hell you got going on, because, hey, nobody wants to be stopped during that. I mean, getting everything going on. I mean, think about that for a moment. That makes it kind of an interesting thing as we are talking. So, question, are you in Colorado Springs? Well, take a listen to this. A new program, Accelerated COS, will be available in Colorado Springs to support locally owned small businesses. Mayor of Colorado Springs, John Suthers, made the reveal yesterday.
The primary goals of the program are to accelerate the economic growth, provide capital and expertise to local businesses, and create and retain jobs.
It's a new partnership between the city of Colorado Springs and a nonprofit, Exponential Impact. To qualify, the local business must have less than 50 employees and bring in less than $2 million in revenue a year. 2 different sets of low-interest loans are offered: micro loan up to $10,000 and a growth loan up to $50,000. Colorado Springs business owner Lawrence Wagner says the opportunity is going to be a game changer. He's the CEO and founder of Spark Mindset, a company that helps connect veterans, women, and people of color with cybersecurity jobs.
They just don't give you money. They actually train you and give you training on what are like ways that you can actually accelerate your business with the money. And I think that's just as important as the capital itself.
So there you go, some different things going on as we are talking. So if you're in Colorado Springs, there's some options for you if you're looking at that. Anyways, a Los Angeles Metro bus driver is fighting for his life after being stabbed several times in Woodland Hills. Assistant Los Angeles Police Chief Alan Hamilton says that there has been a fight before the suspect pulled out the knife.
The altercation started on the bus and then went onto the street here on the sidewalk.
The suspect's believed to be a 21-year-old man is still on the loose. A 61-year-old driver who was stabbed late Wednesday remains hospitalized in critical condition. Detectives say that it happened shortly after a suspect boarded the bus and started arguing with the driver. The Metro rider says that he knew something serious had happened when he saw the blood on the ground.
It's a little bit alarming. I saw the police presence, and then I saw the yellow caution tape, and then I saw the red. That's where it becomes concerning, because it's not just a punch or a shove or words. It's physical violence.
LA Metro Communications Manager Dave Sotero spoke about the attack at the news conference on Wednesday night.
This is a horrendous act of violence, and we are working closely with law enforcement to investigate this, identify the suspect.
So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there. Let's continue talking real quick about staying in California. A 17-year-old boy is dead after an attempted social media stunt went wrong at the LA Bridge. Trey Thomas reports.
Los Angeles police say the teenager was trying to climb one of the arches on the popular Los Angeles Bridge when he slipped and fell to his death. Chief Michael Moore said the boy was trying to post a social media broadcast from his phone when he fell. Moore said they've increased patrols at the bridge and are still investigating the tragic accident. I'm Trey Thomas.
That's terrible to hear exactly of that going on. Social media stunt gone wrong, that is for sure. So, don't know what to say there. Anyway, Brazil is trying to stop the spread of avian influenza from the wild birds into the commercial crop. Iowa Secretary of Agriculture Mike Nag says that that the state isn't equipped to fill the gap between the chicken market. Iowa meat producers could still benefit.
We're not a significant chicken meat producer. Now, that could spill over to, though, maybe some increased pork demand or increased beef demand, because if you're used to having protein on your plate, you're going to spill over and look at other species.
Okay, wild birds in Brazil have tested positive for avian influenza, causing the country to declare a state of animal health emergency for at least 6 months. Brazil is the world's largest chicken exporter. Iowa Secretary of Agriculture Mike Nag says that monitoring the avian flu situation and trying to learn from Brazil might help.
We owe it to ourselves and everybody else to try to learn those lessons, and let's not repeat those mistakes, or let's model what we can after others that are unfortunately going through these things.
Okay, let's do two more before we get to the main story. The man who allegedly slammed into the security barrier near the White House with a U-Haul will remain in custody for now. Arian Bearfield was the classmate of a 19-year-old suspect.
I just would never expect him to have a Nazi flag on him. It's very unexpected. He never once said anything about that, said anything once about Hitler, Yeah, it's just very surprising.
The 19-year-old made his first appearance in court on Wednesday ahead of the detention hearing next week. Prosecutors said that the man is not a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident. They argue that he should remain in custody because he possesses a serious flight risk. He reportedly told the Secretary of the Secret Service that his goal was to get into the White House, seize power, and to be put in charge of the nation. Boy. Yeah, there you go. Anyways, take a listen to this one. Travel for Memorial Day weekend is expected to surpass the pre-pandemic levels. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, Pete Buttigieg, there you go, says that the airlines have delivered considerable improvement in avoiding delays and cancellations.
Each month we've seen cancellations under 2%. That's better than the 10-year average, and so far this May, we're seeing those numbers hold.
The secretary also said that he is working to minimize a travel disruption amid the ongoing traffic controller shortage. He said that airlines have delivered considerable improvement in avoiding the cancellations in recent months, and that this weekend will be a test whether they can meet the demand. Airlines experienced a large number of issues last year. As Pete said, that there was unacceptable. More than 40 million Americans are expected to travel this weekend. Pete also says that airlines experienced a large number of issues last year, and it's unacceptable. Listen to it from him.
We're using our tools to press airlines to continue improving customer service and to continue improving performance.
Okay, Pete says that his agency is working to minimize travel disruption amid the ongoing traffic controller shortage.
Issues that are under the control of airlines caused over a third of all cancellations. Air traffic control staffing issues were responsible for about another 5%.
So there you go. Now you have the excuses. I mean, you have what's going on. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's what I meant.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show. Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so yeah, we totally fucked it up today. 34 minutes past the top of the hour as we are talking and hanging and banging and doing everything that we get to do, so don't worry about that. So let's talk. Let's talk about some main story stuff. Let's talk about everything that goes on inside of this industry of ours and the weirdness that our industry has become when it comes to the aspect of conferences. You know, I will tell you that I get to look around and see all these different conferences that occur. And listen, I think that some of them out there are great. I think that some of them out there are some of the best across the world, depending on what the hell is going on. And I think some of them are just pure terrible. And there are safety professionals that are out there that want to get into this conference world where they get to speak in front of groups of people because they want to become popular and well known within the industry. And hey, listen, good for you. If that's what you want to do, good for you. We all should have goals and aspirations. And if that's what you're wanting to do, good. Listen, I have always just wanted to be part of the cog because I am just a spoke on the wheel. When I am to leave this thing, the industry will continue with or without me, just kind of the way that it goes. But some people believe that they are the centerpiece of what the hell's going on inside of here. And here is where some of these conferences get you. And let me explain what I mean when I say this. If you are going to a conference and you are going to be a speaker, the first thing that should probably happen is that you should be paid for you to speak at these things. Let's just be realistic. They are selling tickets for you to speak at it, regardless of you being speaker listed number 200 or speaker numero uno. If they are telling you that for you to be able to speak here, there's a couple of different things you have to do. Let's start off with number one. You have to turn in some level of paperwork to give you permission to speak there. That just means that they are trying to figure out what you are trying to advance inside of the world of safety to be able to move forward. Think about it. And so then they're going to use that and tell you, we will let you in free for our conference, but we're going to promote and sell stuff to make money off of you. So in case if you're not familiar with that paperwork, it's an abstract. That's the way that it goes. Numero dos, if you go to a conference and they tell you you have to buy a ticket even though you're a speaker, that's not it either. And this is where people get lost and in confusion of what the hell is going on. I know that some people will go, well, no. I'm trying to do this and it takes money to make money. No. If you are doing something to this level and somebody else is profiting off of you, there's probably an issue here in regards to how we talk about this. So these are things that you should consider if you're moving forward with this. Think about it real quick. There are things that are out there that they want you to help promote, that you are speaking at an event before the event occurs, months ahead of time, and you're not getting paid anything. Doesn't that sound a little weird? And the line goes something like this. Think about all the exposure you'll get if we give you this session. Think about it. Think about what is going on there. So if they sit back and they're making money off of you and they're giving you quote unquote exposure, how is that helping you? Like, think about this. I want you to think about this potential exposure that everybody tells you. Think about the millions and millions of people that you have access to, and in some cases, billions of people on social media. Just because you have potential exposure does not necessarily mean that you'll have the exposure. I want you to think about this because people get hung up in regards of wanting to be popular inside of this industry. Let me explain something real quick. Just remember that you want to be part of this industry. Remember that allegedly the goal is to get people home safe. If that's the case, being part of should get you pretty excited. Everything else will kind of fall into place the way that it should. I look at it still to this day of being a utility worker, and not in the format that you're thinking, in being able to assist in promoting what the hell is going on across the industry. Listen, with the 19 shows that we have on this damn thing, on this little network, that's what I've always wanted to do. I wanted us to always be a one-stop shop where people can go and take a look around on what the hell's going on. Think about it. What is your goal? And are you going about it the right way to get to wherever you want? Think about these industry level conferences. Is it what you're looking for? Seriously, think about that. What is trying to supersede there? Maybe that is the big question.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding.
Whoa!
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
Don't make bullet battles, we gotta shoot for the stars. We got tonight, yeah, we got tonight. We got it going on and we're feeling alright. This is our time, okay, now is our time. We're doing what we want and we're feeling alright. Yeah, we got it going on and we're feeling alright.
Oh yeah, we got it going on and we're feeling all right. There you go, 47 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out this morning. You know, we're doing that thingo. So this is some Tiger Run coming your way. This is called We Got Tonight. Songs readily available on Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Spotify. You can give it a little downloadsy action if you'd like. A little streamer action. Don't forget, this is still hour one of the Jay Allen in the Morning Show, referred to as the Rated R Safety Show. Yeah, we're still feeling all right. Yeah. Okay, so thanks to Tiger Run for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Let's get into the move and the groove of what else we have left, because, of course, I've messed this thing up today, and so we're running out of time. And we got a lot of stuff. But guess what there's always time for? This information right here. And that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. To find out more, you can go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com. Once you get to the website, go to the far right-hand side. At the very top, click on where it says Find Help. Find Help. Listen, no matter what you're going through, they're there to help you. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. You just go to their website, TWLOHA.com. And remember, we want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. I know that when you're going through the midst of it, it's really difficult. to be able to go for it. And I get it. I understand it. I understand the conversation. But it is okay to ask for help. Seriously. It really is. For some reason, some people have seen that as a level of weakness for some time. And that's really just not the case. You can ask for help. It is okay to do so. It is okay to ask for it. I am just saying, just so you know. TWLOHA.com for more information. Let's talk real quick about the future of foods because, we need to talk about that. With concerns about the effects of climate change on the world's agriculture are mounting, what we grow and eat could see a significant shift. Scientists at the Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew says that it's in the years ahead, some crops unfamiliar to many of us could have a crucial role in our diets in the future. Like what? How about the nice seaweed supper, a cacti casserole? Other possibilities of the future menus include a type of wild coffee able to cope with warmer temperatures than the traditional coffees that are out there. In essence, also known as false banana. While the bananas that you buy right now in your supermarket may have grown in Central or South America or Southeast Asia, the onset, while related, it only cultivated in Ethiopia. And there's other weird things too that you've actually eat the whole trunk, like pseudostem, 15 plants that can feed a person for a year. So there's very large, very productive ways to say these experts. Yeah, I'll bet you'll never insert 59 cents a pound, though. So, think about that. And can't wait to try my wife's incest muffin. Just think about that. Some weird stuff that could potentially happen there. That's something for sure. Anyways, with that being said, let's do some other things real quick. Let's take a look over here and see what else is coming in according to the news reports. So let's take a look at right here. Baltimore will start enforcing a summer youth curfew on Friday. Mayor Brandon Scott says the city leader spoke yesterday afternoon about the program will run through Labor Day. Shantae Jackson, the mayor's office of neighborhoods of safety and engagement, says the curfew is not about police criminalization of black children.
When we engage young people around the curfew, that work is going to be led by social workers and youth peer ambassadors to assess the situation, to offer resources, to share programming information.
Under the plan, groups of children under the age of 17 who are violating the curfew will be warned and leave the area, have to leave the area 3 times. If they ignore the warning, they will voluntarily be taken into a so-called Youth Connection Center in East and West Baltimore. Penalties for parents and guardians range from written warning to a $500 fine and community service. Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott says that it will be minimal involvement from the police and to enforce the curfew.
Limits unnecessary interactions with law enforcement while also ensuring accountability for parents and guardians.
Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott says the city needs to connect with its youth people. Yes, youth people.
This activation is in response to the growing need for us to connect our young people and their families to vital supports and provide them with those safe, welcoming environments as an alternative to being out late at night when, frankly, they shouldn't be.
Okay, so there you go. If you're in Baltimore, some interesting times coming up this summer for you. So there you go. Some stuff to think about. Anyways, let's get into some happier notes. There is no doubt about that. Let's talk about the Motivation Minutes. Let's bring in some John Small.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Mark. Marilyn Voss Savant said, "Being defeated is often a temporary condition. Giving up is what makes it permanent." There are so many stories about people who would not give up. Edison famously tried and failed over 10,000 times when creating the light bulb. Dr. Seuss was rejected by publishers 28 times. 217 investors turned down Howard Schultz when he had this idea for them to invest in a thing called Starbucks. And there were dozens of publishers who turned down their chance to work with an unknown author named J.K. Rowling for a little book about Harry Potter. Even Stephen King threw his book Carrie in the trash after 30 publishers rejected him. Luckily, his wife retrieved it. Don't give up. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlysaMorgan.com. In 2009, a study published in Science found that monkeys that had been fed a reduced calorie diet for more than 2 decades had lived markedly longer than those allowed to eat freely. Dieting monkeys offer hope for living longer was the title of the New York Times article. 3 years later, in August of 2012, another monkey study found the exact opposite results. An article called Severe Diet Doesn't Prolong Life was published in Times. Turns out, monkeys in these 2 studies were fed completely different diets, processed foods in the first case and natural foods in the second. And unfortunately, epidemiological studies of this nature may fail to accurately reflect correlation and causation and jump to conclusions too soon. For more information on wellness, check out AlysaMorgan.com.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
I would say my mama, but she doesn't give a shit either, so there you go. Anyways, 55 minutes past the top of the hour. We have a limited time left in regards to getting you out of here. Anyways, at the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm to hang out for the next couple hours or so to talk about the things that we do inside of the world of music and entertainment. So you're more than welcome to come and hang out over there to do the things that we do. Anyways, before I forget, let's talk about this real quick. This is the Conklin Conference going on in Orlando, Florida, September the 27th through the 29th. If you want to come and hang out with Todd Conklin and the gang, you're more than welcome on doing so. All you have to do is go to safetyfm.io to find out more information. That's safetyfm.io for some more information to find out what the hell is going on over there. No doubt about that. Anyways, let's talk about some other things. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. So as I take a look around, as I look and I look and I look, back in 2020, a video of George Floyd's arrest and murder while police in custody goes viral. The 9-minute clip shows Floyd being pinned to the ground by a police officer, Derek Chauvin. And the incident sparks widespread condemnation for the nation's protest. So there you go. That happened back in 2020, 3 years ago at this particular point. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today, because there are quite a few. So here you go. Bo Dallas turns 33. Roman Reigns turns 38 today. Tara Joel turns 43. Joe King, 43. Adam Gontier, yes, from former rock singer for 3 Days Grace, turns 45. Alberto Del Rio turns 46. Julia Carey, 47. Jamie Kennedy turns 53. Mike Myers, from Austin Powers fame, turns 60. And Frank Oz turns 79. And Ian McKellen turns 84 today. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, I have some of those for you as well. It's National Wine Day, Towel Day, National Tap Dance Day, and wow, I can't even say. Geek Pride Day. Yeah, Geek Pride Day. So there you go. That's some things for you if you're on the lookout for some of those. If you do need a random joke for today, I have one of those for you. Solar power is definitely the future, but it won't happen overnight. You get it? Okay. If you need a phone starter for today, try this one. What has someone borrowed from you but never given back? My entree leadership book. Nobody ever gave it back to me, and she still has it. Anyways, that's a whole other conversation. If you need something for the water cooler, try this. Question: 9% of workers admit that their boss had to talk to them about this. What is it? Their messy workspace. So there you go. There you go. I guess depending on the industry, that could be a terrible thing, but we'll leave it at that. So there you go. That's going to sum up our time together. Thanks for hanging out. Sheldon Primus coming up at the top of the hour here on Safety FM to do the things that he does when it comes to the world of safety consulting. If you want to come and hang out with me, like I said, radiobig.fm, that's where I'm going next to hang out and do the things that I do. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. We couldn't do what we do around here without you, the most important part, that is for sure. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, this is the thought that I have. Not all positive changes feels positive in the beginning. Think about that. Think about that for a moment. Anyways, I don't know if you're enjoying a 4-day weekend. I'll be here tomorrow, God willing, of course. I'll see you then. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.